Hey guys, my name is Sean, and this is a 2020 Tesla Model Y dual motor. And so this is middle of November, the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm hoping this is my last time doing FSD, or the FSD Beta rolls out. This is software update 2020.44, 2020.44.10. I did get the latest map update, 2020.48, that just came the other day. But I wanted to do one kind of baseline test before we move over to FSD Beta to see how much of improvement we have with FSD Beta versus just a regular Navigate on autopilot from November of 2020. And hopefully after I get that new update, I will do the same trip and we'll see how it goes. I'm navigating through Sacramento right now. There's a couple of different intersections as I'm going through downtown to get across town, and so I want to see how it does that today, and then I'll do the same thing whenever I get FSD Beta is letting me know that I should change lane. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't click on it to confirm. But we got about a mile and a half before we have to exit off of this freeway and then hop on another freeway, and so I should be staying on my right lane here. I shouldn't be going over to my left because traffic right here gets a little backed up, as we can kind of see with traffic coming up here. That braking right there is a little too harsh for me. We all kind of saw it coming up because all the lights were red, but I don't know if Tesla detects lights or anything like that yet, but that was a little harsh. And both of these two right lane, we can hop on the other intersection with both of these two right lane, and so I'm safe in the lane that I'm in right now, and I can hop on over to the other intersection in this right lane. There's a couple things that I do like with this last update, and that's the offset at 15%. And so for me, the most of the speed limit around my area is 65, but not a lot of folks are doing 65 on the freeway. And so if I do an offset of about 15, that puts me at 75. And I think a lot of times the cruising speed within this area is anywhere from 65 to 75, and so that puts me in a safe spot where I don't have to kind of play around with the little buttons here, up or down. So that's a nice update that we recently just got that I do like. Once we get into the split, it's a 1, 2, 3, and so one freeway to the left, one straight, and then another one to the right. Once we get to that split, it should open up a little bit, so it'll be a lot smoother once we get there. But right now it's pretty bad, and it's like this. It's like this every morning if you're going to work, because we're headed downtown. Okay, well, we'll see. Does it signal? It should. Oh, it does signal. Okay. So I'm in the right lane. My max speed came down to 70, and what I've noticed in the past is the speed limit detection, it doesn't detect the yellow signs, and so I won't see that pop up here. The white and black signs, I'll see that all the time. It also doesn't detect speed limit signs on the left side as well too. We are slowing down here, and that's I believe that's GPS based, and they've done a pretty good job for this section here. I used to drive this section a lot when we used to commute to work, and they have it pretty dialed down, so like it does slow you down enough to make these curves without feeling dangerous. And normally I feel really comfortable just letting the car do its thing through the loops here. You'll see the 35 there. You'll see that it won't detect it here. But these curves, I feel like 100% confident in what Tesla can do in these sections here. Where we are going to merge into the freeway here, it's like 3 kind of freeways merging into one, or 3. It's like a 3-to-1 now, and so this part up here does get a little tricky, because you got people coming from right behind you, and you got people coming from the right, and the lanes kind of all merge into one, and so this part right here is a little tricky. We'll see what happens here. There's a guy right to my left here. Luckily nobody to the right here to cause any confusion, and so there's some stuff going on up there. Yep, I think we're good now. Even though it alerted, it didn't disengage me. FSD or autopilot or navigate on autopilot is still engaged, and so you see that with the blue button here. Merge over to my left because I believe this road, no, I think I'm safe here. I'm pretty clear. So I give it a confirmation. I was clear and everything's fine. Me to change lane one more time. Oops. I was not quick enough, and so it made the recommendation, and then it did not make the recommendation, and so we'll stay here. And in the past, it used to, when it was making those lane change recommendations, it used to signal for me, and my wife hated that, and even for myself, like I'm a big fan. That's why I have a Tesla. But I mean, I didn't like distracting other people when I wasn't ready to make a lane change, and so the recommendations now, it'll tell you on the screens here, like, hey, you should move over to your left lane or right lane, but it doesn't. That was a little close to that lane, but it doesn't signal, and so it doesn't signal until I give it the confirmation for it to signal, and so that's a nice update that we've seen recently as well too. Switch over. I will. There's nobody to my right. Down for this guy to get off. Where the two lanes kind of merge to one, that does get a little tricky. And so there was not a car to my right, but it did merge me pretty quickly into that middle section of the merge right there. So we're at the end of the trip. I'm just gonna bust a U-turn and head right back home, but I wanted to just kind of capture a baseline of where autopilot, Navigator Autopilot FSD is today in November of 2020. Yeah, 2020. Alright guys, we're back on the freeway. No car to my left. I wish it would have signaled there. It did not signal there. I wish it would have signaled. Even though there were no cars to my left, it'd be nice to just give other people in that area notification that I'm kind of coming over. Should signal here. Ramp says 45, so I gotta slow down. Slowing down to 65, and it's actually slowing down on its own, or 55. Okay, 55, just to make sure it makes this curve. So it makes this curve, but it's not as smooth as the other curve up there. I think this curve's a little sharper. And it wiggled a little bit more than I wanted to when I first came into the exit there, and so it's not perfect yet, but I mean, it gets you in. No car to my left, just give it a confirmation. Whoa. I didn't see anything. I don't know why I did that. It shouldn't have done that, so that's one bad thing that I did on this trip. I've seen that happen before when I'm like approaching a curve and there might be a car coming, even though it might not be in your lane. I've seen that happen before, but there's a straight line. There was a guy behind me, but he wasn't that close, so I'm not sure why I did that. But yeah, that's why we're kind of doing these tests today, to kind of get a baseline of where we're at with FSD. Everything's pretty smooth so far. That car is going a lot slower than expected on the freeway. We'll see if it pops me over to the left lane or not. My exit coming up is about a mile out, so I'll take Tesla's recommendation if it does give me any recommendation at this point. Oh, it tells me to go right. That car was coming pretty quickly. If I was personally driving, I wouldn't have done that right, because even though it was a good distance away, at the speed that it was coming was pretty quick, and so I wouldn't have done that one. Nope. And again, that one too. Sorry, I had to take control, because on this one, I'm not going to blame it on Tesla. That car just hopped over 2 lanes and went to the right lane pretty quickly. So I would have made it, but I didn't want to get in front of a car going super quick. So I don't want to confirm right now because it might take me right here, but I do want to confirm right here. So relatively smooth, considering that I had to hop over a couple lanes. You know, I mean, the last time I did one of these videos was probably a couple months ago, and I feel like Tesla is more aggressive in changing lanes. I think early on when we first got it, maybe a year ago, if you signal to change lanes, it would take a long time. It would maybe do calculations or something, and then it would eventually change the lanes for you. Now, as soon as you click it, it makes that change right away, and it actually accelerates into that lane change. And so it's much more aggressive today compared to maybe several months ago or 6 months ago. So guys, the rest of the trip home is going to be relatively smooth. I got a couple miles before I get off the freeway, but I mean, it's just a straight shot. We all know that autopilot can handle adaptive cruise control type of stuff, and so it's going to be relatively smooth all the way home. Thanks for watching, and I'm excited for the FSD Beta. Can't wait to get it. Can't wait to test it out in the city and the freeway. Right now there's not much that you can do on the city streets with the package that we have today, but I want to test it out as soon as I get it, and hopefully they fix a lot of the bugs that we're seeing out there. And